Before we dive into this conversation, I'm talking to you. You're becoming your greatest possible self. Keep going, keep growing, keep showing up, keep loving yourself, keep having grace and compassion for yourself, keep letting go that which doesn't serve you as you embody more fully that which you already are. A freaking miracle. Thank you for being here. Also, for the iTunes review of the week, this week it's by Joshua Lysick, who says there's personal development and then there's GPS. Chris, I loved your chat with Martha. Every tip to build rapport with romantic partners works in business. In love, you want yes. So it is in sales. Thank you for bringing on guests whose advice applies to 99.99% of life. P.S. You are so high energy, I feel the room come alive as I listen. 100%. Thank you, Joshua. I appreciate you, man. Sending so much love. And if you want a chance to get shouted out on a future 12-hour live stream all day long as a honorary review of the week, go to beyourgps.com/iTunes or search Greatest Possible Self on the Apple Podcast Store and give us a review there. Definitely subscribe there and or on your favorite podcasting platform so you can get all the latest episodes and updates and keep getting this goodness because this is just the beginning. We're diving into greatest lessons learned in the Bali Float and Fire Retreat. So we're going to have a lot of fun here. It's going to be flow. It's going to be fire. So I think we were there for 25 days, or at least traveling for 25 days abroad, outside of the United States for 25 days. And it was freaking magical. So I'm just so grateful for everything, how it all unfolded. I'm going to share the highlights, some of the things just chronologically. We'll start there and go deeper as that happens. And as I remember different things as they happen, we'll go there too. The trip really started off with a not so awesome tone. Just so stoked to go to Bali. Just blessed, absolutely blessed. And my girlfriend, Petya, misplaces her headphones, her Bose, noise canceling headphones. And she's just like devastated, because these things are her baby that allows her to maintain her peace, to keep her space, even when there's chaos and things going on around her. And she was just so sad. And I think it was just she felt like irresponsible. I think she felt like just like financially she has to go buy them again, $300 headphones, like, didn't feel good. And I think she wants to be someone who is empowered and responsible and has her life in control, so to speak, and wants to live her best life ever. And it was tough. It was tough seeing her and seeing her heartbreak that she had lost her beautiful headphones that she loved so much. And my responsibility in that moment was, hey, am I going to take whatever is going on personally? Am I going to take it personally that she's upset, frustrated, and, not feeling too good right now? Or am I going to hold space for her and remind her how powerful she is, and remind her how capable she is, and remind her that anything that we have, we can go get more. It's just a thing outside of us. And I think it was just a really powerful moment for her to grow in her consciousness, right? To grow in her ability to witness the present moment. And I'm super proud of myself for being able to hold that space for her. And I think she'll tell you as well, like, she's so proud of transmuting that frustration or guilt or shame or whatever came up for her with losing those headphones into, hey, it's going to be okay. I'm resourceful. I'm resilient. I can go get another pair. It's all okay. Everything's going to be okay. And to evolve to another level of maturity. And I've gone through this too, and I'm sure you have as well, where something happens and the question is not what happened, but it's what we make it mean and how we respond to it. So I was proud of her for how quickly she bounced back, because I think in life, sometimes it can feel like when you do something wrong, when you go off tracks wrong, when you are feeling guilt, shame, etc., it can just feel like such a blow to who we know ourselves as light workers, as people who are conscious and, doing the work on our damn selves. Like, we put a lot of time and energy to do the work on ourselves, and to say, man, there's still shit I got to work on. God dang. that can be defeating. That can be overwhelming. It can feel like not enough. It can trigger that not enough feeling. So that was how we started off. But it was great that we got an opportunity to just get present. And then going to Bali, awesome. We stayed at the Kutaya Hotel close by to the airport, really economic hotel that we were able to stay for just 2 days to recover from the jet lag. And then after those 2 days, we were able to travel up to the north in Lavina. So we explored a little bit around the hotel and around the airport. It was cool, and just got to relax and recover and just get to see some of Bali without any real tour guides or anything like that influencing us on where to go, or people, locals, etc. Kind of just see what happens when we show up. And it was cool. And then we went to Lavina in northern Bali. So if you didn't know, I don't know how to say the airport name, but it's in the south of Bali, Denpasar and airports in the south. And Angkor or something like that. I don't remember how to say the airport. But you go from the airport, and then the south is usually really touristy, and there's a lot of temples and things and waterfalls as you go north into Bali, into the mountains. And so Lavina is on the north side of Bali, past the mountains, and then going back onto the other side where the beach is. And the water is super, super just pristine, nice, calm, peaceful water, whereas the southern side of Bali has way more waves. It's way more active. So anyways, we go up to northern Bali, Lavina, and got to meet up with this amazing woman, Angie Wayan. Some people call her Angie. It's the American pronunciation. Balinese people call her Angie. And got to, over the next couple days, stay with her. We stayed with her for about 2 weeks in Lavina at her place. She was so generous and loving. She just adored Petya, like fallen madly in love with her and her soul, like just so appreciated who Petya is being. And for me, it's like what kept coming up for me is like, man, when are people gonna like fall in love with Chris Burns? Like Angie is falling in love with Petya. I want someone to love and adore me and to cherish me and to just like celebrate me and shout me out so much, like as Angie is doing with Petya. And so I think that was a good opportunity for me to practice, like bless that Angie loves Petya so much and adores her and cherishes her and celebrates her. And, they're so close, they're so physically intimate. It's like beautiful, and part of me was like, why can't I have that? And kind of judging myself for feeling a little bit more distant. And I just said, it's okay. It's perfect. Like I'm being Chris Burns, the force of love that I am, the light, the radiant light, the champion. Just keep focusing on celebrating what you love and trusting that I have everything that I need within me, and excited that if I choose to create something and people in my life who adore and cherish and just like celebrate the heck out of me because they see my awesomeness and my light, like a lot of people did on today's marathon, I think I can kind of take that for granted sometimes if I don't get a physical hug or I'm not in physical proximity with people. But I do get a lot of accolades and adoration and thank yous, and I'm sure if I was in person, massive freaking hugs with the guests who come on the marathon. But that was something I got to pay attention to throughout the stay with Angie, and she's so awesome. This woman is a local. So by the way, if you ever go anywhere new, if you're a travel newbie like I am, I'd never been outside of North America. I'd been to Mexico, been to the Caribbean, Hawaii, but not really anything beyond that. And went to Bali, which is an international country in Asia, like one of the farthest places that you can travel to around the world from the United States, from Las Vegas especially. And I just got to really surrender to that travel and surrender to the experience and surrender to riding the waves and trusting the flow. And with Angie, it was super awesome. Angie. I bounce back and forth between how to pronounce it. With Angie, I like to use the Balinese, the culturally aligned. With Angie, she just is such a boss in Lavina. And so many people know her, so many people respect her, so many people love her and cherish her, and she's like an in-demand human being. So I would recommend you, if you are getting more experience traveling, if you want to have the best experience possible, my recommendation is find and build a relationship with someone who's local, who is an influencer, someone who's well respected, someone who's a valuable member of the community and shows up and contributes and gives a lot, because that is exactly who Angie is. She is a massive contribution, massive force of love, just really empowering these kids. She has like she's been working at a foundation helping kids to learn English over the last, I don't know, 10, 15, something like that years, a long time. And I know she's helped thousands of kids to learn English and help get funding for college and university and be educated so they have a better shot at living life and getting a professional life. Because I don't remember what she said. There was some statistic, don't quote me on this, but it was like 80% of women don't make it out of high school to go get a profession. They marry someone because they're just going to be a stay-at-home like mom, and so they don't get funding, they don't go get education, they are resigned to a stay-at-home mom or a mother, and that's like their full-time duty because college is expensive. I think there was something else about that like the parents don't want to pay or something like that for the daughter. I don't know if it's because they are worried that the daughters will go away, go abroad, or go do something else, and they won't stay at home with the family to take care of the parents as well as like produce children and grandchildren stuff. So I know there's some statistic around that. Ask Angie. she'll give you the 411 on what she shared with us that was super, super powerful. And so she's been fundraising a lot, and she started 17 branches, 17 locations around Lavina and Siddhatapa village, which is where they do this foundation or organization called English Corner, where they teach disadvantaged Balinese kids English. And so thankfully, Petya and Angie have been connected since April and building relationships. And when we said we're coming to Bali, Angie's like, you got to come stay with me. And so we're like, cool, let's do it. Our retreat is in November, and we can stay with you until the retreat starts, basically. So we stayed with her, and she showed us around these beautiful places, not just like the tourist locations, Git Waterfall, Buddhist temple. She took us dolphin swimming, got local pricing, local connections, just awesome everything. Took us, got local food, and just helped us have such an amazing experience because she was really well connected, and this was a beautiful, beautiful time. And she has, I think, 16, 17 of these branches. We got to go speak at 5 of them, which was amazing, just getting to see these kids and seeing that they didn't have anything and still being able to be there with them, and how excited and eager they are to learn, how curious they are. For me, it's like I really feel myself step into my inner child and feel myself come alive when I'm teaching kids, especially. I don't know if I could do it 24/7. I think I really crave a mature, wise conversation as well. And kids have a ton of wisdom. So that's not to say that only adults have wisdom. I think kids have a lot of wisdom as well. I think there would just need to be a balance for me of how do I invest my time and energy with kids and really speak to them and teach them and be a role model for them and love on them and give them hugs and all these kinds of things, and keep my adult component of my business. So I'm sure as time goes on, I will evolve branches of my company and who I am and the works that I do and projects I take on to facilitate both, facilitate entrepreneurs who are like crushing it, helping them to get to the next level, facilitate young entrepreneurs who are wanting support and help in growing into their greatest possible selves, and just empowering them and giving them my time and my energy and my infrastructure and resources to help them be successful. And then also the disadvantaged kids of Bali and just all over the world. But, right now my heart's really going toward these Balinese kids because, I got to experience them firsthand. One of my first really that I got to connect with projects that I got to really give back. Like I've gone to Mexico, built homes, but I think it's something different for me when I go teach, when I go, visit so many different locations and groups, and also give my greatest gifts. It's one thing to build a home and to band together and to go on a mission trip. That's awesome. For me, it's like I love my parents. I love that they, are Christian and religious in the sense that they follow the Bible really well, and I think that's awesome. I'm more open to interpretation and kind of the different spiritual philosophies, and I think that there's some truths in all religions, and there's also some things that might be exaggerations or misconceptions of what is the truth. And so I never felt like truly aligned with mission trips because I felt like I'm not 100% invested in the culture that this group is wanting to spread. I am invested in greatest possible self. And so I felt really aligned with going and teaching English as representing the brand Burned Up Coaching Inc. and becoming your greatest possible self and embodying that. And that's who I'm inspiring these kids to be. Not teaching them to be Christian and follow the Bible. That's great. That's great. If you want to do that, hey, do it up. And I think that there's a higher purpose for me that I align with. Christianity is great, and for me, it's like greatest possible self is a higher step on that, on how to articulate, how to step into that beingness, and even God, source, creator, being in alignment with that, living as the channel of that. That is greatest possible self. I think Christianity is a step down, quote unquote, of alignment and identity and label for me personally. Of how to live that, how to live in alignment with my source and ultimately the love, infinite possibilities, infinite intelligence, God, source, creator, etc. So for me, that was really powerful to be so just aligned and congruent with what I was doing there and how I was teaching, how I was showing up, and to be there with the love of my life. Oh my freaking gosh. Like I mentioned about Petya, but a little of a upset before, but she is one of the most patient people I know. She's one of the most empowering, loving, constantly seeing the greatness in me, constantly calling me forth into my highest being, constantly putting up with the stuff that I start. And then she's like, hey, where's the energy? Like we started, I'm really expecting you to partner with me on bringing this into existence. And sometimes I would like pull back my energy for whatever reason, isolate, doubts, fears, etc. creep in. And she's the person who's like, I'm going to fucking finish this thing because we said we would. And so for me, that's such a valuable component of my being and my life and my growth at this phase for me. So I'm so grateful for her. So I just really want to give a massive shout out to how much I love the woman of my dreams, Petya Koliwova. She is just, she is within me, within my being, with her energy, her presence is within my being, within my soul, so connected, so divinely intertwined. So again, I think I get to remind myself of this more often. I did it in the beginning, that we are both epic and awesome human beings on our own, right? Like I am totally awesome, epic, loving myself, proud of myself, growing into my greatest possible self, and I'm going to freaking change so many people's lives and serve so many people with my greatest gifts. Whether I'm alone, whether I'm with my current business partner, whether I'm with Petya, whether I'm with my parents, whoever, whether I'm doing the 12-hour marathon, whether I'm coaching, whether I'm creating games that help people gamify life and like live personal development even more, I'm going to kick butt. That's who I am. And it's so much better. It's so much more juicy, rich, conscious, fun. There's so much more laughter when I have the woman of my dreams by my side. So I just want to reiterate that, and how just throughout the retreat, especially, I'll get to that, just really being able to be in the flow with her of her greatest gifts and allowing her to shine and being so proud of her. And when I had something to share, she gave me space and just loved on me and just really let me like unleash my gifts and my genius on the participants, which was freaking awesome. So grateful. So the time in Lavina was amazing. We were really sad to go. We wish we could have stayed longer. But there was a couple things that like really we were juggling right before the retreat, which was a lot of fun. And one of them was a chef, right? So this is our first international retreat. This is our first one, and we absolutely are so proud of the results, so stoked, so excited about how it turned out. The transformations in our participants' lives were freaking massive. Owning their purpose, owning their gifts, like owning that they have the most clarity on who they are and what they're here to do that they've had probably in their entire freaking life. And these women were in their 30s and 40s. And like to give that gift to someone who's at this season in life, is just for me, like there is no too late. It's never too late to start. If you're hungry, if you want information, if you want transformation, if you want to share your greatest gifts, it doesn't matter if you're 15, 25, 35, 45, 55, 65, 75. I don't care. If you are hungry, if you come to me asking for help, for guidance, I'm going to say, yes, I will help you. Like if you're sincere, if you're willing to show up and do the work, age is a number. It is not a definition. It's not a label. It is a label, so to speak, but it doesn't define you. It doesn't determine who you are, your capacity, your potential. So I just really want to reinforce that for me and remind myself that as I age, as I grow in years, as I have gone around the earth, gone around the sun, more times, that doesn't define me. It's just a representation of how many times I've gone around the sun, which helps me to keep in chronological order the events of my life so I can more effectively and articulately share the story and the journey so that people can understand, so that people can extrapolate the wisdom and the gold and the experience so that they can apply it to their own lives. And I really want to invite you to take on that perspective. That's just number of times around the sun, and it has nothing to do with the amount of memory that you have. It has nothing to do with the amount of health that you have. It has nothing to do with the amount of vitality, youthfulness, curiosity, wonder, nothing. Age has nothing to do with that. It is simply a moment-by-moment choice of how do you choose to show up, who do you choose to be, and the willingness to do the work and clear out whatever stuff might be getting in the way. So I just felt like massively reinforcing that because that's something I really stand for, and I'm going to continue to stand for, is this youthfulness, is this aliveness, and this living beyond whatever society has programmed us and told us to believe about how long we're supposed to live, because that is total bullshit. I want to live as long as I freaking want, as long as I choose, and I'm going to create the reality, the energy, the inventions, the alignment, the habits, etc., the thought patterns, the beliefs, the reversal of genes in my DNA and gene expression that causes aging, like whatever the fuck it takes to live my longest, best, most fulfilling, happiest, joyous, fulfilling, epic, fulfilling life ever. That's what I'm committed to. And I invite you to wonder what it would be like to do the same. That being said, chefs was a challenge. I mentioned this is our first retreat. We rocked it. We knocked it out of the park. Massive transformations, and we had a completely different idea of how it would be the very first one. Okay, we had an idea of 8 participants. That was our number. That's like we said, that's the sweet spot. Let's go for it. And we had 2 exquisite, beautiful, epic human beings, and I'm so grateful that we did. I'm so grateful that we got to really refine our processes, our systems, what we taught, our curriculum, do debriefings every night on what worked and what could be improved. Like it was the perfect sandbox with the perfect level of freaking transformation, massive transformation, with the perfect amount of participants and juggling, and everything worked out perfectly. So I just want to remind you, when you set out on something and you expect it to be one way and it goes a different way, just trust that it might actually be in your highest and best good. Because if we would have had 8 participants, it would have been a completely different retreat. And who knows how it would have turned out. I'm sure it would have all worked out and flowed perfectly. And, who we were able to serve in these lives that we changed, epic. And now we're really excited to be promoting and sharing about next year's Bali Flow and Fire Retreat, which is, I believe, October 10th, 10/10. 2020. So if that is that numerology is exciting for you and you are excited to get on the waiting list, just put your comment below. Type in I'm in, type in Bali 2020, whichever you prefer. Or if you want more information, just shoot me a message. Okay. So that is something we're super excited about, and just how it all unfolded was really powerful, just amazing. And right before the retreat, we had coordinated with a chef who said they could do it. And then last minute, he gets called to be on a cruise, right? I think it was a day before, 2 days before the retreat. He sends a message saying, "Hey, I'm sorry I can't make it. I've just been commissioned to be a cook on a yacht or a boat or a cruise or something, and I'm not going to be able to make it." And so Petya and I were like, "Shit." That's interesting. Okay, let's figure this out. So we're working our network or contacts, and thankfully Petya is also super amazing at relationships. She's amazing at building relationships before you need them, right? Like loving on people, connecting with people, asking for information beforehand. And one of the women who lives in Bali, shout out to Vanessa Bachman, who's awesome and was a huge help in making this retreat a massive success. Connected Petya with a massage therapist, and that massage therapist who we met up with the night before the retreat happened to have a husband who is a chef, and her brother is also a cook as well. So guess what happens? We're able to get these 2 epic Balinese human beings at an amazing rate, super affordable, 2 people, lower than the price that we thought we would have paid for one, and they cooked delicious, exquisite food, and just like absolutely made the retreat so joyous, so amazing when they were there. Like when they were cooking the meals, it was just a blast. They cleaned up, they made delicious food, high vibe. It was awesome stuff. And I'm just super grateful that we manifested that. And when we trusted that everything's going to work out, and not having a chef the day before the retreat starts, like cutting it close, peeps. So we recognize, hey, thank you for the lesson. Thank you for, the divine alignment. Let's make sure we get something in writing a little bit more in advance, get something in an agreement, a contract, so that we know who's going to be there. We have some more padding, more just knowingness that everything is going to work out. So that was a big lesson and super valuable. And then let me share a little bit more about the retreat so you can know a little bit overview of what we did. So Petya ended up getting the intuitional hit. We had the structure of the exercises, what we wanted to accomplish in the exercises. We didn't have the structure in terms of just kind of like a mental flow of the retreat. Right. So I think a couple days before, Petya is like, "Oh my gosh, let's do past, present, and future, like the flow on fire. Let's clear out the past. Let's get people present and embodied in the present moment, and then help them create the future." So that's what we did, and it was just rad. It was so rad to be able to take people through that chronological thing and framework. I did a cacao ceremony on Sunday, the opening night, and then Monday was like releasing limiting beliefs, rewriting the story. Tuesday, we went out on excursions and took our participants to we did a hot springs, and then that night it was a full moon. The 12th was a full moon, so we did a full moon ritual, burning limiting beliefs. One of our participants had a forgiveness letter to themselves, to their relatives and significant others and stuff, and so she burnt those. We all burnt and put the ashes in the sand. We were on the sand, and ladies and gentlemen, like this was an intense beach. Okay, we're in Tana Lot. It's a temple, and down below the temple is a beach. Okay, and so there's a bunch of people there, and we want to go to where there's no people so we can have a beautiful, quiet, peaceful ceremony and release. And so we go onto the beach, and we're sitting there. We've set up all our towels, and Petya is like, "Chris, these waves are coming really close to us." And we're like already pretty high up on the beach. There's not that much more room to go. And so I'm like, it's okay. And so we keep doing the release, keep doing journaling, and then the waves get super close. We have to move back to the towels, so like basically as close as we can against the wall of the beach, because it's like wall cliff. There's sand and there's wall cliff, and then everyone's up above, walking around. There's like tourists and stuff, and then we had to walk down and around to get to the beach. And so we move back, and the waves are coming, and the participants are doing the releasing, and so we finish that, and we get this beautiful, gorgeous sunset in Bali. And the pictures are phenomenal. I can't wait to share all of them. I don't know how I'm going to share it all because there's so many. got to be like freaking 2,000 pictures that we took. It's nuts. It's so many pictures. But we got this beautiful sunset, and then the sun is going down, and the water is coming up like crazy. And so we're like, dude, we got to get back to the land. Like, participant safety, it's like super, super important for us. And so Petia's motherly instinct kicked in. She's like, let's go. And so we are walking back, and the waves are coming up, and we're like walking through the ocean. This ocean's not like this wimpy ocean like in Lavina, like super still and peaceful. No, this is like some hardcore freaking waves. Like, these waves will eat you up. Like, they are intense. And so thankfully, you know, we get out, and we all make it safe, and everything's all good, and get up on the land. So that was a fun full moon ceremony that was just like completely, you know, evolved spontaneously. It was freaking magic. And then and then the next 2 days were being present. I think the next day was inside of the retreat villa and doing some exercises there. Thursday was like the go explore and adventure day. We went and did some shopping and different things like that, and just went to a restaurant and just enjoyed ourselves. And our participants took Petty and I out to eat, which was super awesome. Got some ice cream. So there's a lot of places that we went, different restaurants and things like that, but most of the meals were cooked by the chefs. And then Friday was the future, so we did some work there. And then Saturday we also did some more work that day. And so I'm not going to get too bogged down in the details, but like a lot of the processes that we went through were just like so profound, especially at the end, helping the participants get clarity. That's what they were asking for from the very beginning. Is like, hey, I just want clarity on my purpose, want clarity on my gifts. So it's amazing who we attracted, because, you know, for me, it's like doing the first hour of today, the goal setting hour, meditation, visualization, journaling, and then breaking it down bite-sized steps. That was my dojo at the retreat. It was like just smashing it out of the park. I was like, this is me. I got it. Boom. You know, and helping them really get connected with who they are, their actions that they can be taking. And one of the participants said, like, I'm so grateful for this clarity. I used to have like these ambitions and dreams to be better, to heal, to show up and serve and live my purpose, but I had no idea how to get there. And so we were able to, with these processes, get them clarity on their vision, their mission, their strategies, their objectives, like what they are here to do. Statement of purpose, super, super powerful exercise. And then to be able to break it down into bite-sized steps. And it's like, you know, for me, sometimes I can kind of take it for granted on the Wednesdays on the marathon. I was like, okay, you know, I'm doing another hour facilitation for people to set their goals, break it down into bite-sized steps, and do this, you know, routine. And I think it's just like, for me, it's the 10,000 hours thing, right? Just like mastering the freaking basics. This is the basics, Chris. Keep teaching it, keep talking about it, keep it in the routine, keep it in the cycle. You can always evolve and change it, bring new fresh stuff, and like stick with the basics. Stick to teaching the basics, master the basics. And so I really saw that the basics, which I had been consciously, attentively teaching, naturally, automatically, unconsciously came out in the website copy that we were doing, automatically came out in the participants' experience at the retreat. So it was super cool, kind of just to see how when you keep investing your energy into productive habits and skills, you'll find ways for them to come out in different venues, you know. So for me, I'm still on the journey of discovering what is my message, what am I here to do, and how do I communicate that effectively. I have a lot more clarity around it than I used to, and, you know, still grappling with it, still evolving it, and trusting the journey, and not making it mean anything that I don't have it all perfect exactly the way I want it. And I think I heard it multiple times today. It's not so much about having the right words, although the words are important. Communication of words and the right language is important. It's more about who you're being. It's more about the energy behind it. It's more about the confidence, more about, hey, before you jump on that call, who are you being? And whether they say yes or no doesn't matter. It's about who you're being in the process. Like, yes or no, obviously we want the yes. Yes is the destination. What is it? Is it yes is the destination, no is the goal? Something like that? Is that go for no? Yes is the destination, no is the, I don't know. Does anybody know what go for no subtitle is? Go for no. I don't remember who wrote it either. That would help me. Anyways, go for no. Yes is the destination, no is the answer, objective, goal, something like that. So for me, I have put a lot of my self-worth and value in sales calls, um, in a result. And I'm grateful for that. It's taught me a lot. And also my work at this point, so I was talking to Gia, is to really get into alignment with who I'm being. I have all the tools. I have all the information I need. I just get to make it a priority, the top priority, to set the massive energetic intention that I'm able to produce every single day to a clear, specific direction. And I think I've been taking that for granted. I have been doing hypnosis, which is super awesome. Shout out to Amy Turner, who I saw earlier today, who took me through a powerful, powerful hypnosis session and just really gave me some recording that I could keep listening to over and over again. Been listening to it for 2.5 months every day, sometimes multiple times a day, to really just, like, if I'm not tired, if I'm not sleeping, I'll listen to it, because I'm just like, hey, if I'm just going to be sitting here waiting to sleep, I'm going to keep reprogramming my mind, keep reminding myself of who I am. So that's been just massively impactful, I feel, in stepping into who I truly am, attracting more abundance, making a bigger impact in people's lives, and trusting more. So that's been beautiful. What else? What other questions do you have? I would love to hear your questions. I see Melinda. I see JV. I see Sarah. I see Pierre. I see Tara. What's up, peeps? I'm just like unleashing. So other lessons that I learned from Flow and Fire, until y'all fire some questions at me. You know, for me, it was such a big milestone to host a international retreat. I think Petty and I both had this massive, like, imposter syndrome doubt sneaking in that prevented us from taking the level of action that we would if we were fully aligned, fully congruent, fully believing and trusting and having faith. And so that doubt got in the way. That's okay. Again, you know, if the belief was there, then we would have attracted, 8 or more participants, and their energy would have been great. We also didn't force it, right? If we would have forced more participants to be there, if we would have fought the way, if we would have operated from scarcity to fill the retreat, I think that would also been a big lesson, because I'm pretty sure we would have attracted participants who were not in alignment with the other participants. We would have forced it to happen, and if we go against what we believe and we're operating out of fear, I think there's a dance of, like, when you take action, you create belief, you create faith. Massive action creates faith. And I think that there's also a level of, is this in alignment? Do I feel in alignment with doing this? How do I grow my alignment? How do I step more into my belief fully? I think that's a question that we could ask as well. But the 2 participants that we had, just massive transformations and walking away with tangible strategies, how their 2020 is looking, a game plan, steps, all of it, We're going to do a debriefing call in about 2 weeks, which we're super stoked about. And just go over, how's life been since after the retreat. I'm really excited for that, just to, like, continue what they have learned, what they have experienced from doing the Flow and Fire retreat. So it's awesome. And I know we're doing a Black Friday special as well for the 2020 retreat. So again, if you are interested, if you want to find out more, happy to give you more info. And just, like, I may not be able to communicate it right now because I'm freaking exhausted. My energy. Oh, thank you, energy. Thank you, body, for all that I put you through. You are a champion. So I got home we drove home from Los Angeles. We landed in Los Angeles airport from Bali on Monday night at 6 p.m. Took us 2 hours to get in our ride. Then Petya drove and had an appointment with someone on Monday night. And we were going to stay with my grandma's in Southern California, Hacienda Heights. And I was just like, you know what? Let's just drive home. Like, why are we gonna spend an extra day and then, the next day wake up at whatever time, 10, 11, 12, and then 5 hours of driving, 4 hours of driving to Las Vegas? Nah, let's just get it over with. So we ended up getting home at like 2:30 on 2:15 on Tuesday, 2:15 a.m. on Tuesday. Is that what it is? Yes, 2:15 on Tuesday, yesterday. And slept for 11 hours. that was fun. And then I went to bed. So I woke up at 2:30. I went to bed at like 8:30. And today's Wednesday. I woke up at 1:30 today. I took a nap this morning before the marathon, but I had a client coaching call at like 6 p.m. So 6 a.m. 6 a.m. Pacific. So my body's like, bro, you're going ham. And I'm proud of myself. I'm really, really grateful for my stick-to-itiveness. I'm grateful for all the interviews, how they turned out today. Just absolutely magical, epic. And I just remember what I love so freaking much about events, about doing the 12-hour marathon. This is a mini workshop, mini retreat, mini seminar that I get to do every week. I'm living my fucking dream. So thank you, Chris Burns, for sticking it through, for working on yourself, for developing yourself, for being consistent, for challenging yourself, and riding the wave of life. You're just keep showing up, and thank you for tuning in and listening to this, and just being on the journey with me, and allowing me to share, allowing me to be my authentic self. The share that I had with Gia in the last interview is just super, super powerful. If you didn't catch that episode, go listen to it. Massive just awareness. And then after I shared kind of this awareness of how I diminished my ability to let things land when I have breakthroughs, when I have aha moments, when I have huge shifts. Like, it's so easy for me in the past to have just let it slide by. It's so easy to just say the words, to intellectually get it. And what does it feel like to let it land? What does it feel like to celebrate myself as I discover it? What does it feel like to say, aha, I've found you. I've found you, you mofo. I got you. You were trying to steal this magnificent victory from me. Nuh-uh. Nuh-uh. Good job, Chris. Own it. Own the people. Own the work that I have done on myself. Chris Burns has done a redonkulous amount of work on myself, as I'm sure we all have. And I'm not comparing, but in terms of my best, I've given everything and all I've got. And at times taken myself out of the game because I felt like it was hopeless and like I'm giving everything I got and all I've got. I still haven't broken through to where I want to get to who I want to be. It's so frustrating. It's so crippling. It's so demoralizing. It's like, come on, Chris, aren't you enough? You keep saying that you have all these gifts. You're being your greatest possible self. And yet there's still certain challenges and obstacles in your life that you are just continuously helpless with. And so it's in those moments where I get massive opportunities to have grace for myself, for trusting the journey, for continuously showing up, and to do my best with what I have, and trust, right? Trust that everything's working out. There's divine timing at work. I'm meant to go through these challenges for the length that I'm meant to go through them for whatever reason. I don't know what that is. Thank you for the patience. Thank you for the grace. Thank you for the humility to know that I'm not supposed to be perfect. And if everything was the way I like it, well, who knows what kind of life that would be. Maybe it'd be exactly what I wanted. And I'm willing to grow and go through to create that best life ever, every day. So Bali, Flow, and Fire retreat was just absolutely massive. Tara, love you, Superwoman. Flow and Fire retreat was just massive. Such a blast. We're going back next year. It's going to be even better. We're definitely, I think at this point, we're going to be in Lavina in northern Bali. This one was in the south in Canggu, which was nice. Great place we had. And I think just in the north, we were just going to find the experience of a lifetime up there. So I'm super excited to be creating that with our participants, creating that experience, and just take everything that we've learned this year and just keep building upon it. You know, I want the lesson that you get from this interview, from this conversation, to be that you don't have to be great to start, but you have to start to be great. You don't have to have 200 people at your first retreat. You can have one. And if that one person is you, and you show up and you do the best that you did, you showed up, And screw it if there could have been different things that you could have done differently. Screw it if you felt like you wish you would have done things differently. Screw it if you have regrets. Let those go and just say, how can I learn for the next one, for the next time, for the next experience? How can I take this and not allow it to stop me or knock me out of the race or cause me to quit, but to strengthen me, to build my resilience, to build my fortitude for what I say I'm willing to do and what I really, really, really want. Let this interview be an inspiration for you. If you truly desire something, you will figure out the freaking way. And if you're meant to have something, there's no amount of resistance or challenges or blocks that can stop you from achieving it. If your soul is meant to have it in this lifetime, if you're truly desiring it, you will move heaven and earth to achieve it, to experience it. And I just saw these participants show up in the face of adversity and challenges and setbacks and things like that, and still make it through and just kick ass in the retreat. And I'm so proud of them. It's like one of the most fulfilling things that I could do, teaching the kids English and then seeing these participants shine and really receiving all the love and the acknowledgement and appreciation from how much I and Petya transformed their lives and just gave them so much gold, and how free they feel, how light they feel, and how empowered they are. So I'm super, super grateful for that. We're wrapping it up in this hour of the 12-hour marathon. We're going to be running through the finish line of another 12-hour live stream, having a lot of fun. Definitely, I just want to say thank you so much for tuning in, for showing up, for choosing to be your GPS. Freaking sending massive love to you, to just empower you to keep growing, keep going, and trust the journey. And however we can support you, whether it's tuning into the 12-hour marathon, becoming your greatest possible self, tuning into Petya's podcast, Unapologetically Abundant, or whatever other ways, just let us know. We are here for you. And I just want you to know you are seen, you are held, you are safe, you are loved. There's nothing that can take that away from you. So give yourself the gift of receiving that.